Kristy Belich. This is episode 69.
Yeah.
Is that a little bit unusual that it's episode 69?
I think it's before all the kings and queens above 18.
Good evening, my queen above 18.
We're rolling on your newfound hot.
My new talent?
Yeah, hot
Oh
level
my
of
god.
fame.
Well, you told me to ride the wave, and I listened to you, so let's just ride the wave, I suppose. But, I mean, we may or may not have accidentally gotten ourselves internet famous.
Well, you did. I have 230 views.
Well, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have the idea. You gave me the idea. You planted the seed inside of my brain. And I'm a parrot. For those that don't know me, I'm somewhat good at voices. I can make it really high pitched. I can make it really low pitched. But somewhere in the middle, there's the queens above 18.
You definitely look like you work for Sesame Street.
What?
You know how like you know how like all the puppeteers are like, you know, like that Mark Wiener guy I showed you.
Yeah.
How like puppeteers have like beards and like there's just something.
Well, they don't need to look good for the camera. They just get all scraggly and fucked up, and they just have the camera's not on them. But they can do the voices. Oh, they could be the Cookie Monster and Elmo and all that. Did I tell you that I saw Elmo?
Like just walking on the street and stuff?
Well, Elmo was a guest star on Wheel of Fortune when I was a little baby. And my mom worked for them in the sound department. And she took me to work one day. And
Elmo was there at work?
Elmo was there, and I got to see two men operating on Elmo. There was a hand up Elmo's ass, and the other hand was doing the hand movements. It was two guys operating Elmo. One was doing the hand movements, and another guy was doing the hand movements, and they were just kind of like doing this dance together. And that's when I found out Elmo was not real, and I cried.
It's so sad.
Yeah, I got to see it behind the camera.
Well, Elmo clearly not a king or queen above 18.
Well, Elmo's like 3. Elmo is a toddler.
Elmo is definitely Elmo is. Do you remember Tickle Me Elmo?
I do remember Tickle Me Elmo.
People got into fights over Tickle Me Elmo.
Oh yeah, I remember a story how like a bunch of like Mexican cartels like put a bunch of cocaine inside of a Tickle Me Elmo and like ran him across the border.
That's the way to do it.
Elmo's on cocaine. Oh, good God.
Elmo was always on cocaine. That's the secret. Episode 69 of Jaking Off. Here we reveal Elmo was always on drugs.
Elmo has been on drugs this entire time. I'm thinking, well, Elmo would be on uppers.
Definitely.
I think, because he's like really excited to be here, and oh my God, like, what are some uppers? I'm not. Are you more familiar with? You're probably more familiar with drugs than I am.
Would you say like? Well, I would feel like whatever.
Is Percocet an upper?
No, that's more like a painkiller.
Okay.
I would say maybe Snuffleupagus was on painkillers.
Oh my God.
Giant, probably has joint issues.
Well, Snuffy's not even real.
We're talking hypothetically, Jake, what drugs the Sesame Street characters would be on. I mean, the Muppets alone. Like, look at fucking Beeper or whatever the fuck his name was.
Oh, that's crack.
That's uppers.
Yeah,
it's like meth.
His hair's all up and all that. The scientist. That's our Breaking Bad guy. And also the band, the Muppet band. They are all on weed.
All on weed.
And Xanax.
Xanax?
Well, maybe not Animal, because Animal's crazy.
Is that what you call it?
Xanax? Xanax?
Well, I mean Xanax, but I guess it's, the pill you pop. So if you're popping the
Zanies?
What would
No,
Xanax?
That's a comedy club. Oh my God.
Hi, welcome. I'm taking my Zany.
Oh my goodness. I can't follow with the drugs. I can't, because I'm already like crazy by nature. So if I were to partake,
you take whatever
in that whole thing,
can that you drink all the time that gives you diarrhea.
The Monsters.
Yeah.
It's a bad habit.
It's bad for your stomach.
It's a really bad habit, and it's killing me. What is this? This one has butterflies on it. So it's cute, but it's got like papillon, but it's got 48 grams of sugar in a single can. It's got B12 vitamins.
It's the MK Ultra flavor.
If there was acid in monsters, I don't think I would be on this plane of existence. I think I would astral project to like Saturn or something.
You have Saturn on the back of your
I
computer.
like Saturn. So put a ring on it. I don't know, something about Saturn. I just like the way it looks. I think it's the most majestic of the planets, Saturn. Just because like the rings, like they're actually like aren't they actually like little like rocks and meteors and stuff like that are surrounding it?
And ice.
Ugh, I'm not a scientist, but
There's conspiracy around Saturn.
what
They say
conspiracies?
They say it's where the evil worshippers are from.
Evil worshippers,
Mm-hmm.
like devil worshippers.
Yeah.
Why? Why Saturn?
Because Saturn represents Capricorn and Capricorn represents Satan. Saturn is Satanist.
The
Santa,
goat.
they say Santa is Satan.
Hail Santa.
Santa
How is Santa?
Claus.
But he brings us presents.
Papa Santa Claus.
Spiritus y Santus.
Spiritus Santos.
What drugs have you been on that give you these ideas?
No, you read about it online. Like yesterday when we were observing the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
which is a religious holiday, I was googling NFL NK Ultra glitches.
Oh my goodness. At least Tony Romo finally made it to the Super Bowl. I heard he was like a commentator.
I don't know.
That's a Dallas Cowboys joke for anyone listening. Sports. I don't know. I stopped paying attention after a while. After like what Michael Vick did to the Dogs, that's when I was kind of over it. I was a Brett Favre fan growing up. Like I really liked Brett Favre, and my mom was a cheesehead Packer fan. And then he got traded to the Jets, and then I felt betrayed. And it was just like, oh, you're not a Packer fan. You just like Brett Favre. And the whole Michael Vick thing, like I was just done with it. The CTEs, the beating the shit out of like their wives and all that. And like it gets glorified, you know? You don't see that shit in baseball.
Now you just had to be naked and streak down the field.
I cannot believe that happened.
To get some play online.
Well, that guy got his 15 minutes, and it's also going to be 15 years behind bars.
No, it's not.
No?
That long.
A year, 6 months, and like a fine.
And like community service.
During a pandemic?
Yeah, he's going to get community service in Tampa.
Oh, God. If Tampa's even like a city anymore. You showed me a video of like, there was like the aftermath of like them winning.
Yeah.
And they were all crowded together. Like, COVID's not even real. But I don't know. It's also Florida.
Do you think COVID just didn't go to Florida?
I don't think COVID fucks with Florida. Because they've been like the most open. And they have had like cases and stuff, but they seem to be wilding out. I mean, they have bath salts over there.
They do, where people eat faces and stuff.
Yeah. So they're immune.
You know what's weird?
What's weird?
If you were talking about drugs and trends, like The Walking Dead and all those like zombie films were on, and then bath salts were out, and then they were reporting that, and now it's like different kinds of drug trends. So even that is what gets reported based on what the trend is.
That was the apocalypse I really wanted.
Me too.
I wanted the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because that way, like, I think it would be controlled faster. Because then we'd have martial law. Like, it would be really bad really fast.
Well, like everybody would die.
Yeah, lots of people. Like, it would happen quicker. Like, this is a slow burn.
Yeah.
And I'm hating it.
So slow.
But would we get stimulus money?
No.
In a zombie apocalypse?
Well, the thing is, okay, so what kind of zombie apocalypse are we talking? Because I'm down for Walking Dead season 1.
I fucked with The Walking Dead season 1.
Like, I think that Atlanta whole season was like exactly what we should have.
Yeah.
But are we talking Dawn of the Dead, Evil Dead, Resident Evil?
I would be almost okay with Dawn of the Dead because if they're dead, then like the athleticism of the recently deceased wouldn't be relevant because the muscles are decomposing and like all that stuff. Like they wouldn't be sprinting at you, you know? No, Dawn of the Dead, they were sprinting. What's the first one?
So there's
Night of the Living Dead.
Night
That
of
was
the
the
Living
first
Dead.
one. That's the one that I want because they
Okay.
were just kind of like waddling
Slow,
around
yeah.
slow. You could run away from them and stuff. But Dawn of the Dead they were fucking sprinting.
I think that's 28 Days Later.
Mm-hmm. They sprinted too.
Oh, that one's fucking
Yeah.
terrifying. 28 weeks and 28 days later is
Mm-hmm.
exactly what maybe we should get
Mm-hmm.
karmically, but definitely would be the scariest one to deal with.
Yeah. Well, this is also some kind of like Chinese water torture because this is a very slow burn and like slow torture in some ways is kind of worse than death. You
Yeah.
know, do we deserve it? I'm cynical. I think we do.
I think, yes, just like I was watching something yesterday where somebody was saying that Trump was the president that we deserve to get. And
They're not wrong.
they're not wrong. He was our mirror. And I do believe, though, 28 days later is a terrifying
Yeah.
also experience because that virus had really high potency.
Yeah.
Do you remember the movie Outbreak? Dustin Hoffman?
No, but I remember it came out like 10 years ago.
Oh, way
I
more.
think
than
I
that,
remember
like
it.
20.
Yeah, I remember like seeing a trailer for it, but I was too busy in college at the time. I didn't have time for shit.
Well, Outbreak came out when I was 7, so you were probably 4.
Oh no, I'm thinking of no, there was a movie called Quarantine. Contagion. That's the one. Contagion. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Movie.
Yeah.
Dumb fucking movie. Terribly dumb movie. Can I explain why it's dumb?
Why is it dumb?
Kate Winslet's character, you could backslap that bitch. And then also fucking, like, if you're going to be working for whatever, the CDC or whatever the fuck she was working for, she was doing a dumb fucking job. Although very relevant today because of what we've experienced with the fucking CDC and all the public health fucking officials. Maybe it really wasn't dumb. Maybe it was a foreshadowing.
Fuck.
Fuck Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
He was also in that movie.
What was the one you were mentioning just before? Outbreak.
Outbreak.
That one. That movie came out when you were 7?
Yeah, Dustin Hoffman and Morgan Freeman.
I don't remember that one. Well, because I was a small child, and if I was watching anything, it was Disney movies and stuff like that. What was that one about?
Not a lot of Disney movies about pandemics.
No, there isn't.
Maybe Fantasia.
Fantasia a little bit? Yeah, there's like evil being spread across the magical land, and fucking Mickey Mouse has to make it stop.
And the water rises.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The giant COVID devil demon thing he has to like fight off. That movie was fantastic too. It was like fantastic animation, and that was like in the 40s.
And the sugar plum fairies are definitely COVID.
They're small and they're cute, and they'll fuck you up. Remember when it took 28 days to slow the spread?
I don't remember anything about what happened in 2020. All I remember is we were in Los Angeles and we're no longer there anymore.
Yeah, time to. I mean, it just didn't smell right. I left in July. You left. When did you leave? September, and you were still like going on the road and doing like small gigs and stuff like in Joshua Tree, or you were going wherever you could find it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, California was like, even though you were living there, like you were kind of in and out of California, right?
The only thing running. Oh, you never experienced the fucking Lexington.
Oh, no. I'd rather not. I've heard about it. I've heard about that. I would rather not.
You never experienced that.
No, and I don't want to.
It was outdoor in a parking lot. Actually, it was kind of epic if we look back on it later, but there's a lot of questions that I have about that whole scenario.
Well, it's just so like, I mean, yeah, it's stage time at the end of the day. That's what we all really want out of it. But the promises about what I've heard about Spotlight Sundays is that, oh, you get all this exposure and there's going to be like managers there. Like, give me a fucking break. Yeah, right. Like, I knew something was fishy from the get-go when I noticed that some of the same like comic friends that I would like follow on social media would book those shows. And it was so hype. The poster was so hype. There was like, you know, all this entertainment, music, comedy, networking, you know, it can really put your foot in the door. And like the same comics were booking those gigs multiple times. I'm like, okay, When's that exposure gonna start paying off? That's like our Bitcoin, It's not even fucking real.
Well, it wasn't so much. I mean, there was really cool producers with that, like Brooke Forbes. I like her a lot.
Hmm.
I love working on her, like doing her shows, but I just needed stage time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what it came down
That's
to.
what you do it for, but it's just so overhyped. And I never got the offer. I don't know how you go about doing that. I guess you just got to like inquire from within and hustle and all that stuff. Like thank you for referring me to
Oh,
Dustin and what's his
Devore
name? Yeah, Devore to
and
possibly
Michael.
get a gig. But that's how it is. Because right before this shitstorm, I was talking to a booker at Sal's Comedy Hole, and I sent him my 5 minutes from the show we did at the dojo and the Sycamore Tavern. I sent him that video, and he was like, "Okay, cool, good. Don't be so blue, but good."
For Sal's.
Yeah, for
Oh,
Sal's.
really?
Yeah,
I think you can be pretty blue at Sal's.
yeah. It was like because I was saying he means blue by me saying fuck too much. Fuck has power, but it loses power the more times you say it. You know, I think you have more liberties with fuck because of the sound of your voice.
Fuck.
Yes, exactly. You have more power with fuck because you have a high pitched voice and it just sounds funnier. But when it's a guy like fuck, shit, bitch, ass, cunt, ass, like it's just like, okay, what are we doing? You're just trying to be funny because the cuss word is funny and not necessarily the joke. And I stopped caring. But he was like, "Oh, don't be so blue," and then he booked me for like April 15th or something.
Oh,
Yeah, and then I got the email, of course, saying like, "Oh, hey, it's canceled." I was gonna do Portland Comedy Festival.
because the apocalypse
Yeah,
went down, and now we're in the middle of another one, an ice apocalypse.
a snow apocalypse.
Yeah.
I was not ready. There was a storm here in October. I was not ready at all. I had been living here a couple of months. There was a big ice storm coming. I lost power. I had to throw out all of my food. My cousin was like, "Put your frozen stuff outside." I'm like, "So the stray cats can eat it?" No. And I just let all my food rot. And it all got thrown out. I didn't have power for like 2 days. And I just slept through it.
You slept through the
I
storm.
just slept through it.
How many people are we gonna know that disappeared during COVID and then come out and go, I slept through the whole thing. I
That's
slept
a t-shirt.
I went through COVID and I slept through it all.
I
The whole
slept through it
thing.
all. Well, that depends on how long this lasts, because, I mean, we're still fucking in it, dude, and it's mutating.
I don't know what it's doing.
It's still open, and you're
I,
still getting stuff, so, I mean,
I said to you, I was like, I'm gonna let the universe decide if I'm done with stand up comedy, and then I keep getting booked, and it's like fuck. Well,
well, then stop fucking hustling. How do you keep getting booked?
I don't know.
You inquire, right? You call in on a club. Is that what you do? Like,
Well, I don't know if I'm much club material yet,
I
but
think you are.
Bricktown, I had my first like show there
Mm-hmm.
in 2 weeks, and then I had my first hosting weekend
Mm-hmm.
in April. So I'm just gonna keep on trucking along.
Yeah, keep doing it, man. Cause you were like thinking about quitting. Like, was it last night? And
For the last
and then
since 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Mommy Jean jet skis.
Oh no, really mid thought that happened.
Mid thought,
Mid thought that happened.
you were like, "Hey, I should quit." Oh, I've been mentioned in Pajetski's story. Said I'm like, I told you, and it happened before that. It happened with Joey Diaz. He like commented on your Facebook Live, and you're just like, "I'm gonna quit." And then he commented, "Love ya" or whatever,
Yep.
and I'm just like, see. Because look, if you wanted to quit, and I'm going to tell you this, I told you before, and I'm going to tell you again now. If you were going to quit, you should have quit 5-6 years ago. You should have
Yeah.
quit way back then, because you're in it too far.
Well, I could always just, I mean, okay, think of this fantasy, okay?
Mhm.
You just wake up one day, delete everything: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, MySpace, LinkedIn, all the things, right?
Friendster, live journal.
Friendster, LiveJournal, what's the community one?
The community one?
What's the one that's big and popping right now?
Clubhouse?
Clubhouse.
I don't fucking know about Clubhouse.
You delete Snapchat.
Uh-huh.
Keep TikTok, but go under an alias. Just wear a mask when you're on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just delete them all and erase yourself from social media, and nobody will know. And then you disappear into the vortex of time. How amazing would that be?
I've thought about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we need it for the sake of our profession.
But if you quit and just live on a farm and
that would be easy.
Shovel ice.
But that would be easy.
I could get a CDL.
What's a CDL?
I could drive a truck.
You want to be one of them trucker chicks?
Yeah.
You want to get sunburnt only on one side of your face?
Yeah, I want only
sleep
this
in
arm.
A truck?
Only this arm to be tan.
Well, you're no stranger to the road.
Yeah. And then you could go to truck stops, and then you could sell your body to the night and and then use that money to invest in Dogecoin.
I've made more money off of Dogecoin than I have from this podcast. Patreon.com/JakingOffShow. Holla for $1. God damn it. Dogecoin.
How much have you made in Dogecoin?
I have made
You know my math.
33 cents.
You've made
in Dogecoin.
33 cents. How much?
I
have you
didn't
made?
cash out yet, but the last time I checked, it was up.
Wait, but you have sponsors on your podcast.
Yeah, there's Phoenix Fit. You know, there's supplements, which is like, oh, really? Supplements? Like, it just seems so cliche. But at the same time, I'll take what I can get. This episode of the Jaking Off Show is brought to you by Phoenix Fit, or as I like to call them, F&X. Phoenix Fitness provides supplements, and before I even get into it, yes, I use their stuff. I use the Immune Complex supplements. It's got elderberry and zinc to boost your immune system. It's got other multivitamins that I don't know how to pronounce because I'm a moron, but I promise it's good stuff. They also have protein powder with great flavors like watermelon, raspberry lemonade, and of course chocolate and vanilla for you basic gentiles out there. They have multivitamin gummies, vegan protein if you're into that, and krill oil, which has omega-3s that's good for your brain so you can make the words go. Go to phoenixfit.com, that's FNXfit.com, and type in promo code JAKEOFF at checkout and get 15% off of any order anytime when you use the code JAKEOFF. Don't forget to tell them that the Jaking Off Show sent you.
So you've made 33 cents on Dogecoin, and you've made 32 cents on your podcast.
I've made okay. Here's the real numbers.
Okay.
I pay Buzzsprout, the distribution service I use, $18 a month for 6 hours of podcast recording time, and that comes with newsletters, sort of like 101s and how-tos of how to network and grow your podcast, you know, and advice, tips, tricks, suggestions to the right equipment to buy, what you want to use, what type of podcast, scripting. I haven't listened or read any of that, obviously.
Why do you pay Anchor's free though? I
know Anchor's free. I discovered I discovered Anchor after I had been doing Buzzsprout, and what eventually turned me away from Anchor, and not to shit on Anchor at all, was that there's a certain files can only be a certain size with the amount of time that I record. So recording with a guest is like an hour and change. The ones I do by myself are a half hour. Those can be uploaded fine, but the longer ones, those files are too big. And to condense the file and make it smaller, I have to lower the quality. And the production value on the Jaking Off Show is already shit.
I mean, this is pretty high production.
I'm already making it worse.
You've got this great
best
poster.
$84 I've ever spent.
You spent $84 on the poster?
I spent $84 on the poster, $150 on the logo design. That's $100. That's $100. These are like 20, 30, give or take, not counting the laptop because I've had the laptop for a while, and just like the camera and the tripod. Like we're talking like over $1,000 that I've invested so far. And I've thought about quitting it too, several times. The stints that I take off, like I try to keep it consistent.
Hmm.
And I took like 3 weeks off because I was depressed.
Yeah.
I was sad.
That's
And
why I took 3 weeks off my podcast.
because
Well,
you're like,
and also I couldn't get into my files, but
but the point being, you know, we get sad sometimes and we question our ability to do this thing called entertainment, make people laugh or whatever. And I was thinking like, man, should I do this? I'm not getting the downloads I want or whatever the fuck. And I get sad, but then I think, wait, I've spent so much time and so much money to quit now?
yeah.
You know, that's just a pussy move. I thought about quitting in college halfway through, but I was like, I'm halfway through. Just fucking trudge along. There's
never
no
thought-
future.
Well, you know what's weird is I never once thought during college about quitting.
What did you study? Was it science?
I was a double major. I did biology with the intent of either going to medical school or veterinary school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also added a second major in my junior year for political science and went pre-law. So I did pre-law and pre-med.
Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of math and a lot of like technical stuff. I'm not good at that shit. And I love animals too. I've thought about that at one point. But my mom was like, "You're really good with animals. You should be a vet." I'm like, "Mom, I suck at math. I can't, like, it's fruitless. I have like a thing with dogs. Dogs love me. It could be like, "Oh, he's mean, he bites." I'm like, "Oh, nonsense." And the dog just fucking trusts me.
You trust you have a
Mhm.
good soul.
I also smell like other dogs. They're like, "What kind of dog is this?"
Is it because of your hair and your beard?
Yeah, I look like a fucking cocker spaniel that just had a bath.
You look like what is that terrier called?
Jack Russell Terrier,
No, a border terrier.
a border collie.
No, a border terrier. You look just like a border terrier.
I'm trying to get what kind of dog you, because we had a conversation months ago
we
about
did.
people look like the dogs that
You
they
said
own.
I look like a mastiff, and I was like, "Damn, I gained weight, but not
Well,
that
no,
much."
that's not what that's not what I
Bro.
meant. That's not what I meant. I was also because I said that because I love mastiffs, but that's not why. Strong, powerful, you know,
Can punch a motherfucker.
can
in
punch
the
a
face.
motherfucker out, can guide lost people out of the mountain. No, that's the Saint Bernard.
Can I?
You're Saint Bernard,
Can I just be a collie or
like a border
a
collie, like
German shepherd?
a German Shepherd.
Pointed ears.
Sure,
But
fuck
no,
it.
you got me at mastiff. My
It's-
hips really hurt, so I guess.
Oh my god. No, I thought of you as like a bigger dog, not because of that at all. As you spike the camera and look at me in great disappointment.
I'm trying to lose weight, bitch.
It's not what I meant. See, this is entrapment. This is what gets me in trouble.
So much trouble.
Because big dogs are guides. They're also protectors. Big dogs, like the Saint Bernard. You know, those are the dogs that have the barrel of like whiskey that they carry around, and they find lost people like in the mountains. They find them in the snow, and they get them drunk, and they
What
get the
about a
dog to fall.
Bichon Frise? What about what's the other one that Burmese mountain dog? Have you seen a Burmese?
I don't think I've seen a Burmese mountain dog.
They look a lot like Saint Bernards. They're very sweet.
You're fuzzy.
They're very fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
The little fuzz.
I love them.
I love dogs.
I mean, I'm cool with small dogs, but like they're also ankle biters, and they have short man syndrome, and like small dogs can get like, you know, whereas big dogs are just gentle giants. And
A Yorkie.
A
That's what
Yorkie.
you are. You're a motherfucking
I'm a Yorkie?
Yorkie.
I'm a Yorkie on stage. I'll agree with you
You're
on
a
that.
Yorkie. Yep.
Screaming in my car every week.
Jerking off, and then somebody you're in like both the front seat and the back seat at the same time somehow
Mhm.
yipping, because you know how like, have you ever gone to a grocery store and there's like a little Yorkie
Mhm.
and it goes between the front seat and the back seat?
Yeah, they're just like,
That's
I'm a
you.
dog. I'm in the car.
Yep.
Is the AC on? We don't know.
And you need a bow in your hair. You need a bow right here and right here.
Oh, even better. Pigtails.
Pigtails. Dude, you need some highlights. So, wait, okay. So, how does it feel to be fresh off your internet success today?
I don't know about success. A taste of success, I would put it. I feel like it's a trap. I don't want to get too caught up in it because now I'm more prone to checking my phone. And now I'm more prone to going, like the notification goes off, bing, like, oh, somebody else likes the video. Somebody commented on the video. I have a new follower. And like the serotonin levels are kicking. And like that's what the Social Dilemma documentary is about. Have you seen that?
I saw it a couple times.
It's disturbing.
It's scary.
I don't like it. And like what you said earlier about deleting all your social media, like I want to and I think about it a lot, but like I have to have some of it. But I won't do Twitter. I don't care how many times you ask me to get a Twitter. I'm not getting a Twitter. It's too much.
I just feel like comics are required to have Twitter.
Yeah.
Even though I'm really bad at Twitter.
We're all bad at Twitter.
Like,
it's toxic and
it's
it's
so
bad for you.
It's so bad.
It's terrible. You get trapped in it. I mean, Instagram enough, like because of the little explosion that I had, I'm checking the phone constantly. I'm like, is this my life now? Am I going to be like, is that what the influencers do? Like the legit like influencers that have thousands of comments and thousands of likes and all that shit, and they feel good about themselves. And like, yeah, I feel great about myself, but it's also like, this is a trap. I don't want to get too like sucked into the fuck shit of the phone. So it's dangerous, you know? And I'm a little scared, but I guess that's what it feels like.
Yeah, that's what this blowing up feels like, bro.
Imagine being a successful comic.
Soon you're going to have to sell your ass, too.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get, like, that serotonin hit. It's not going to be enough.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go from being a king looking for a queen to being a queen looking for a king?
You saying I'm going to turn gay?
You
for
are
the
already
sake
on
of
the
funds?
way.
I'm already on the way. I mean, I did go to theater college.
I saw your socks in that
I could
video.
do the voice. Like, oh my God. I hung around so many gay people in New York City and in Los Angeles while doing musical theater. I did musical theater.
What did you sing in musical theater?
Yes.
Rent? Because you're of age?
I didn't do Rent, but I've seen Rent.
Yeah.
I fuck with Rent. I like Rent. I am a sucker for Sound of Music. I'm a sucker for old Broadway.
That dude just died, too.
Yeah, Chris Plummer. What a badass. Remember that scene where he's tearing the Nazi flag apart? Like, fuck yeah.
You know what's really
He's
sad?
metal. What's sad?
Rolf.
Rolf?
Yeah.
Rolf.
He's was it Liza's boyfriend?
Liza Minnelli?
No, what was her name? She was the I am 16 going on 17. Da, 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 da,
Oh, it's not coming to me. It's not coming to me.
And then Rolf was her boy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turned out to be a Nazi. And then he was a fucking rat.
No.
Fucking lessons of Sound of Music.
That's tough, man.
That wouldn't have happened if she had dated a gay boy.
There's no such thing as gay Nazis.
I mean, Hitler was pretty gay.
Pretty fucking gay, dude.
You know he was fucking gay.
He was failed art student. So he had to kill all the Jews. You want to skip with me to hell on the way out of this podcast?
Yay! Hitler was gay.
Mm-hmm. Hitler's gay as fuck. That mustache, you know, so he can like keep the cum in his flavor saver, just like.
It was his Monster Energy.
Oh no! Oh, dude, Taurin is in Monster Energy.
What the fuck?
Taurin, you know what taurin is,
no,
right?
No, I don't know.
Taurin it's a chemical found in bull sperm. It's not bull sperm, but it's a chemical that's in bull sperm.
Okay.
And Hitler was hopped up on a lot of drugs.
Yeah, like crystal meth, I feel.
Yeah, and like back in the day, what was the only way you could get taurin? You know, they couldn't extract it because they didn't have the technology.
So he had to suck bulls off?
I think he was sucking bulls off. That's what made him crazy.
Did they have Rocky Mountain... What is it called? Rocky Mountain...
Moose tracks?
No, it's like something called Rocky Mountain something or another, and It's bull balls,
Ew.
and they're like fried bull balls,
Ugh.
oysters.
That is how you get the Tauren. You get the energies. You form an army, yas. And that's how they say yas. So yeah, I think
Yas.
Hitler's totally fucking gay.
Yes.
I heard yas for the first time in the fall of 2009, my first semester of college. And from what I've observed, yas is a black thing that the gays stole. And it's just like this whole fucking thing. Everybody steals from black culture. You know what I mean?
Because
Like,
white people suck, right?
I don't disagree with you. I think we do. Like, the white guilt's going to come out, and, I'll say, white people pretty much stole everything. Like, the only culture white people have is, like, fucking probiotic yogurt. That's it.
It's because we didn't get enough Tauren.
We didn't get enough Tauren. We're not crazy. I don't know. Those Vikings are pretty savage.
You're part Viking, right?
Part, yeah. I'm Swedish on my mama's side.
So you probably have some evil people down the line in your family.
Well, there's yes. Oh, yes. There is darkness.
Oh wait, you have like people that like like psycho killers, right?
Psycho. Well, not directly. My cousin's grandfather on her mom's side. Wait, no. Her grandfather on her shit. They're not related by blood, but they're related by marriage. I'm fucking it all up. But my cousin's grandfather was a fucking serial killer. That was a truck driver through like the 60s, 70s. Killed 19 people within the span of like 17 years. And he was a truck driver. And what he did was that he would drive, he would do his truck shit, go from Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas. He would like go like those 4 or 5 states, and he would meet a random person and kill them and chop them up and hide the parts in random places. So that's how he didn't get caught for so long. The first person he killed was like his brother's best friend or something.
Damn.
Yeah. It was like, I talked to her about it, and she was like, he enjoyed the life leaving his eyes, and that like gave him like an adrenaline rush.
Wait,
And that
how
made
did
him
she know this? Did he say that?
This was all told to her through the widow who's still alive that lives in Missouri. He has 2 gravestones. There's the one where he's buried, which I think is here in Oklahoma somewhere, and the second grave is where his psycho wife is like obsessed with him and like still loves him and all that stuff. Well, Doug, it's his husband and all that. And she told this whole fucking story, then related over to me, and I'm like, wow, there are some psychos in this family. There's incest in my family.
That's
my
right.
my biological grandmother claimed to be half Native American, and she wanted to like claim land and shit. And we're like, no, grandma, we're white. Like, fuck. And there's darkness in my heart, I could get a gun in the state of Oklahoma easy for like, the sake of like, protection and all that, but I'm not doing it.
You can get a gun more easily than you can get a weed license here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is even sadder to think about.
I could go get a gun and commit atrocities easier than just getting high.
Instead, I think you should create podcast videos, rants, and Queens Above 18 character videos.
I do it every week. YouTube.com.
It keeps you. You should use that as your tagline because it keeps you from getting a gun.
It keeps me from getting a gun and committing atrocities. Do we blame the Columbine shooting on Marilyn Manson, or is that not okay yet?
Well, he's been in the news recently
Yeah.
because his ex came out about his abuse.
Mm-hmm. Terrible thing.
Now what? Okay, so let's back it up. Do we blame Columbine on Marilyn Manson? I think, well, no. It's a no. But what the fuck about Marilyn Manson?
Right, because his music is very intense and like very hardcore, and the kids that shot up that fucking school like his stuff, and so the media needed somebody to blame.
They did
at the time, and he was like, they like my music, whatever.
And they do say subliminal messages go through music, but I think they took it a little too far,
Yeah, the guy that shot Dimebag Darrell, the guitarist for Pantera, he said that
Oh yeah, that's right.
that their lyrics were speaking to him and telling
I
him
mean, back.
to do like playing it backwards and stuff, and they were like telling him to like do these terrible things. And this
I
is like
think that's
mental illness.
schizophrenia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just some crazy shit. Like, hey, look, not all metalheads are fucking psycho killers, but I mean, it kind of like perpetuates that imagery and stuff, so it's easy to shift the blame to that. But now that Marilyn Manson is like actually a fucking asshole, you know, oh, he's canceled for sure.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm. It's tough because like goth culture and all
Hmm.
that kind of fed out of that, and even like emo culture is like I wanna die and slit my wrists.
Yeah.
Like all that kind of fed out of each other. So
Hmm.
I don't know what to think because like there's plenty of like rock stars that don't want to fucking abuse people that have those
Hmm.
kinds of lyrics, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, for me, it's an outlet because I mean, if I wasn't listening to that stuff, I think I would be actually like, setting fires and like just doing bad shit. But that aggression helped shape my adolescence and like how to deal with it. Because like these were very dark themes. Like Korn was like kind of emo, and like My Chemical Romance,
Freak
and
on a Leash is one of the best
I
songs
fucking
ever.
love that song.
Such a
But
good
that
song.
song is like so fucked up if you read the lyrics.
Yeah, man,
Something takes a part of me. He's talking about like all of the songs are about like how his stepdad raped him and all that shit. Like real fucked up stuff. But like I'm not out doing that, but it's being expressed. And so that outlet helped me deal with like, my lack of relationship with my dad and all that shit. And had it not been for that type of music, I'd be in prison or dead because I have that darkness, but I keep it at bay. And I think about the void. Do you know about the void?
I was in the void deeply last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ever in the void while you're driving?
I had to go out to the desert last week because
Yeah.
I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the the dark thoughts happen while you're in a vehicle going 70, you know.
Oh, not like that. You mean like dark thoughts, like trying to hurt people?
Or hurt yourself,
Oh
like
yeah, when
like
I
you're
in
going
the
70 on the highway and all it takes is just a 45-degree turn of the hand and off the fucking road you go and into a ditch or something. Like it's, if you think about it, like it's easy,
yes,
but you don't do it.
but you don't
it's
do it.
it's there, but you don't, you let it go, you throw it out. It's the throwaway, you know. So like I have those thoughts almost constantly, but I don't do it
When you're driving?
when I'm driving, when I'm when I'm walking around. Like I'm like, what's keeping me from jumping into this lake and just fucking drowning myself? Like
But you know how to swim and it's a shallow lake.
right? You could still drown in 2 feet of water.
So
Like
you
I
would
have
just
those
put
thoughts.
your head
Yeah.
below the water and just let it be with
Well,
the
yeah, that was the
with the Canadian geese swimming around and being like,
the
"Does
geese.
he have any bread?" And then the lady coming out, "Oh, just don't mind this one. It doesn't ever leave."
The geese will then pick my body apart, and they will have the taste of human blood, and then the Canadian geese will swarm and hunt. It would be terrible. But like I have those thoughts, and like I let them go, and so that's what keeps me sane. Is that I think about the good stuff. You texted me one day, you were like, "Oh, I'm feeling suicidal today," and
Yeah.
and like not really, but you were using that word, and you scared me a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry to the people I've ever
Yeah.
texted being like, "Today's a
Yeah.
suicidal day."
I mean, like deep down, I knew like no, she's just being sad right now. But I was still taking it like seriously. Like, hey, don't no. There's too much going on for you right now. Even though there's some hiccups here and there, these things happen. But a phoenix rises from the ashes. Do they not?
Well, you're talking about, but suicidal thoughts like are
Mm-hmm.
normal for me.
They're normal.
Yeah.
They don't linger. They don't like stay there because then that would commit you to fuck around and find out. You know.
Well, back in the day they did. They're not
Mm-hmm.
the way they used to be though.
Was there like medication? I was suggested medication once, but I was like, I can just fight this.
I was put on medication, and what happened was when I was put on It starts with an L. It starts with an L.
It probably has a lot of letters, and I couldn't pronounce it even if I looked it up. There's no Jamie here, there's no tech guy.
Yeah, when I took it, I started putting everything in, like it had to the corners had to be like I was like folding towels, and like if I didn't, I would just keep doing it over and over again until the corners were like lined up.
Okay.
When I was put on medication.
Oh man.
So it didn't help me.
So like those repetitions and like those were like occupying your thoughts and you're like flooding, because that's my problem with the autism, is that I flood with just nonsense. This episode of the Jaking Off Show is also brought to you by OGshenron's Off the Tees vintage clothing. You can find rare and unique items such as vintage psychedelic t-shirt designs by unique and amazing artists. All of this stuff is very hard to find, like band tour shirts from the 80s and in good condition. New items are posted daily at depop.com/OGshenron. That's depop.com/OGshenron, where you might find something truly off the tees.
So how does it flood with nonsense?
How do I put this? You ever have trouble sleeping because of the inner dialogue that's happening?
Yeah.
That's kind of a form of flooding, is that I don't let go of things. I play imaginary scenarios in my head that are never going to happen ever, and these what ifs, these hypotheticals flood my brain. And it keeps me from sleeping. It keeps me from focusing sometimes. And like just doing stuff that I enjoy keeps that from happening. But when I'm idle and depressed, I am in the fetal position.
In your bed?
Yeah, just for hours. And if it goes till past noon, okay, we're gonna be sad the whole fucking day then. Like if I wake up too late, even though there's still at least 6 more hours till sundown and I can like do stuff, I just choose not to, because I'm like, well, I wasted half the day. Might as well waste the whole thing. And that like was trapping me, like especially in the quarantine. Like, oh my God, I couldn't do comedy. I couldn't do anything. I was just like, sleeping through the fucking COVID.
Yeah.
Wishing it would go away, but it ain't.
Well, okay. I feel like, though, you do a lot more than I know. Like, you do so much more than I think you realize, because you have a lot of content that you work on a very consistent basis.
It keeps me from going fucking nuts. and thank you. And you too. You have your podcast and all that. And you've had some technical issues, but you still persevered despite that. You still put it up. And I got your back. If you want to do a live that you're having trouble with, send me the file. I'll put some font. I'll make it look shiny. There was one that I don't think you posted it. You were in Texas. You were on that horse ranch.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Hola, I'm in Ovila," and I spruced it up for you.
Oh yeah.
And you didn't post it.
I got nervous about posting it.
Why? Was it too personal or?
I don't know. You sent me and thank you for doing, because when I did that video for the other thing, that like 40-something minute video, you were the one that helped me get it up. Get it on, not up. Hey, you know what? Sometimes a girl needs some tenolin or whatever the fuck it's called.
Sometimes you need to get your bean flicked.
Sometimes you need to get tenolin that you get from Rocky Mountain oysters that Hitler used to drink raw. And that's how he got his mustache to look so good.
Oh my God.
But you were the one who like helped me post that online. So I appreciate that, because like the tech issues have been the hardest challenge for me.
Yeah.
But with your brain, like I think that's also the unfortunate part of being in like whatever, stand-up comedy or acting, is we have this like brain that can go to different places.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's always a lot going on, but the real skill is being able to hone that and put it out in a positive way, because there's just so fucking much going on and you want to do so much. But at the same time, I also don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, because I've talked to you about running my own show, my own open mic, but then I'm competing with the other stuff that's out there.
It would be a great idea for you if you're
Yeah.
staying in one area to run something.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think that move would put me in a box.
Why?
Running an open mic would keep me in the same town consistently.
What if it was a monthly show that you moved eventually when you move? It's just your baby. It doesn't matter where you're at. You just have to find a different venue for it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to do it and be on the road.
Yeah.
Produce a show.
Well, you'd also have to be in cahoots with, a lot of the local bookers in whatever town that is. Like you have to have a lot of communication, and you'd be doing it by yourself at this point. There's people with tour managers that's their job for. Like the tour managers for, I don't know, name a headliner. They've got somebody that kind of does that for
Not
them.
everybody, though.
Not everybody?
Like I spoke to somebody 2 weeks ago and they were saying to do everything yourself. They do everything themselves.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hats.
But it's a full. This is our job. Like
yeah.
at the end of the day, like there's a debate whether it's a hobby or a job if you're not making a lot of money doing it. But I don't think at this point in comedy it's not a luxury. We've got to keep like pushing through, even though I want to quit and delete social media a lot.
Well, it's especially it's the punk rock now, because now it's like not even fucking legal to do in all 50 states because of like the lockdowns and shit, and that we're still doing it is like it's tremendous. Like it's amazing that we're still like doing it despite the odds are against us in every way, shape, and form. And I feel so bad for comics that are starting now, because it's like, oh, your first mic is going to be a virtual show. Like,
well, who knows? Maybe that'll be the new form of this is virtual comedy.
Well, that's fucking Clubhouse.
Clubhouse is virtual comedy.
It can be. It can be formatted to that, because from what I've learned from Clubhouse is that people just do talks on there, kind of like what Stereo App was. And God, I fell off the wagon with Stereo App. Have you been?
No, the only if I do a show with like Nikki, we'll connect on Stereo App. But I really prefer putting my stuff on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer that too. And Spotify is doing like they're doing video too. Like Rogan has video on Spotify as well, and that might bring back the music videos. Remember those?
I love music videos.
Some of them were so like trippy, like Primus had weird ones and all
Taylor
that.
Swift.
Yeah, they had some weird freak. Like Lady Gaga had like that meat suit.
Oh my
that
gosh,
she had.
I forgot about that.
You remember that? She had the
love
fucking
that.
meat suit. Like, like music doesn't make money off the fucking music anymore. And now Spotify's doing like this new format, and like you're doing just audio, but eventually, maybe down the road, Firewolf or Horse Talk can also be video. And, let's say it's somewhere here, we have a banner for each one,
A banner for each podcast.
We have a banner. We just take it off the wall right there. Here's like, okay, Firewolf, we did that. We recorded that. Boom. All right, put up Horse Talk. If you had if you had the legs for it, like, would you record them all in one go and then just like put them out separately?
I would record them all. I would just do, because I want to do 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal, is to do 4 podcasts.
So what do you do? Do you record like the day before and then upload it the next day, or do you do it all in the same day?
Well, I wanted to give myself permission to do it when I felt like doing it, but I usually try, unless it's an interview, I try and get it as fresh to the date as possible, so it's usually the day before.
Yeah. I try to do weekly, like at least I've been trying to do like Saturdays or like on a weekend when people are like kind of relaxing, because some people listen to podcasts and like do chores or whatever. But I've fallen off the consistency. Like I haven't picked a day to upload specifically. I just kind of do it when I feel like at this point.
I'm trying to do the Monday, Wednesday thing.
Monday, Wednesday?
Firewolf, Wednesday, Horse Talk.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the other two.
The other 2 are still birthing because I need to get my technology up to date.
Yeah. Well, don't make yourself crazy.
I know.
Yeah, because you want to do a lot and you want to get on stage as much as possible. And I am with you with that, like 100%. Like, I totally agree and I totally understand. But, like, we also need to take days to just fucking edit and write and.
I don't know how to do these things. Just take days off. What are these things?
I know it's rough. It's very hard because I have the opposite problem. I rest too much because I get sad and then I don't do it. But if I force myself up, I almost didn't go to Looney Bin because I slept like the whole day. And I was just bummed out and I was just sad. And I'm like, the sun's going down. Oh, shit.
Now we have ice.
Yeah.
Now we can't really go out. It is crazy.
Did
out
they
there.
cancel? Like
Everything, yeah.
Oh, God damn it. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's when Mother Nature is kind of loosely telling you, hey, you're going a little too hard in the paint. You're going to break yourself.
I went to make a turn at a light today, and my car like spun, and I was like, fuck, I need to go back. Like, I can't do this today. Like,
you have a show coming up in Austin.
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the polar vortex, like right now, like here it is. We're here now. It's Monday night as of this recording, and it's going to be cold. But Austin's like pretty far down Texas where I don't think they're going to get like the brunt of it.
Yeah.
So if you leave in a timely manner, you'll probably get some black ice. I'd say like maybe drive like a grandma until you hit Dallas. And then you'll be all right. You know what I mean?
It was scary.
Yeah.
That ice dude was scary.
So what if like, okay, you've been doing this a while.
Yeah.
You're no stranger to driving in all different types of weather conditions.
Driven in blizzards.
Yeah.
But ice is another thing.
Mm-hmm. That's a whole other.
This kind of ice is a different animal.
Yeah. Like you don't have control when you hit the ice.
When I was going like 10 miles an hour, and I was going down Meridian, and my car was just sliding.
It was swerving. Yeah.
And I was like, I am going barely 10 miles an hour right now.
And the brakes don't hit right away because we were losing control, and our instinct is to hit the brakes. Is that not a good idea?
You can't. You have to just let it
happen.
Kind of let it coast, and then just be almost like bumper cars. You just have to like let it coast a little bit. And ice is a different animal, I'm telling you.
And I can't tell by looking.
You can't tell.
My visibility was like off, and I noticed that everyone else around me was driving like a grandma when I left Walmart today, and I'm like, okay, all right, we're gonna drive like a little old ladies, and we're just gonna we're gonna be fine. There was like an accident.
Yeah, I passed so many.
I was going to take my usual route back, and then there was just a long line of cars, and I saw some red and blue lights, and I'm like, well, and I've got less than a quarter tank. I'm like, well, I'm not going to sit for this to pass, and I just fucking like turned around like a grandma. I like turned all the way around, and everybody else was like catching wind of it, and I went the other way, but I was just like super careful, and I'm late to the driving party.
Yeah.
I'm super late to the driving party, and I grew up on the West Coast, and I never had like a car up until like when I moved here, and like I got my license figured out, I got all that jazz, but I'm late to the party, and I've never driven ever in this shit, and I'm like, just keep it together. This would be a real bad time for the void thoughts to enter right now. This would be really bad if I was driving in this shit and I wasn't in a good mood, you know?
Yeah.
I drove to do a podcast yesterday, and I'm like going 85 on the highway because there was a bunch of trucks and I wanted to pass all of them, and I just roared through them, and like it felt great because I was listening to like some old Metallica, and I was like, yeah, I'm going fast, all right. But like there was a moment of void thought where I'm like, hey, I'm going 85. I could just fucking kill myself.
Oh my God, no, man, no.
But not like for real. I was like semi-joking about it, but like my body was saying it because my ass cheeks were clenching in the seat, and I was clenching the wheel, like white knuckling it, and it was cold, so like I couldn't really like feel my hands per se. So I was just locked in, and I got on the highway. I'm like, okay, this is the first time we're on the highway. No big deal. This is fine. We're fine. We know what we're doing. But my body's just like, no, this is not fine. This is not fine. You are panicking right now. But my brain's like, just calm the fuck down.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that was your first time on the highway.
That was my first time driving on the highway.
Oh man, I
Yeah.
didn't know. I would have. Oh,
I didn't want to tell you.
Why,
Because I was going to be sad about it.
dude? Like,
I was going to be sad about it because I was like,
do you know how many people I've spoke to over the pandemic that told me that they learned how to drive over the pandemic in all different age groups?
huh.
There's a woman that I know out in California. She's a friend of mine, and she just learned how to drive during the pandemic.
Kind of a good time, right? Less traffic?
Yep.
Yeah.
And she learned, and she did her first hour highway drive during the pandemic.
As did I. But this was like a 2-lane highway. Like, not really. Like, there's a little bit of traffic coming in and out of OKC. And I'm just like, make sure you're in the right lane. Don't take the wrong fucking place. Don't get a detour. And I had the GPS going, and I was like paying attention and all that. But I'm like, this is the first time ever gonna sing a song. Be calm.
Well, I would have helped you. I didn't know.
Too proud.
Dude.
It's too
Damn.
proud. And it was early in the morning,
What
and
are
I
you,
had
a
to get
Leo?
there.
I
No.
know you're an Aquarius. Happy birthday, by the way. But
Thank you.
Aquarius is not generally proud.
It was the it was the what
It's
is
the
it?
white man in you.
It's the white straight male. I'm fine. I know what I'm doing. Let's totally pretend that I know what I'm doing. And
It's the Metallica.
it was
It's the
the
subliminal
It's the
messages.
subliminal message. It's the metal-headed me. It's like, I'm fine. This is fine. I know exactly what I'm doing. I told you how I rode a horse and I didn't know what I was doing, right?
I still thought about that because there was an ad that came up for a movie
Mhm.
and they had a horse cross, and I was like, I wonder if that was Jake.
Could have been. The thing is, it was Western style, but my elbows were out, so that's what gave me away. And it was like fake and gay and all that stupid shit. And I looked at, this was for a short film, and I looked the director square in the face. So he was like, "Do you know how to ride a horse?" I'm like, "Yeah." And in the back of my head, on the inside, I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Did you just kick the horse?
I didn't kick him. Thing is, what I knew,
Mm-hmm. Did you say yeah?
I did say whoa, because that much I knew from the get-go, because I know whoa means stop, because that's what they say every time to make the horse
Whoa.
stop. You say whoa and you pull a little bit.
Say hope.
The-
Hope, hope,
Ho,
hope,
ho,
hope,
ho, ho.
hope.
And they told me to squeeze your thighs a little bit to make them go. The
Yeah, you're
wrangler gave
awesome.
me some pointers, but
You're
I
awesome.
still pretended like, yeah, I know what I'm fucking doing. And
Did-
the other thing was that, like, okay, if I'm scared, the horse is going to know that I'm scared, and it's not going to behave if I'm scared. So let's not be scared.
Did you bond with the horse?
We became
Yeah.
buddies.
What was the horse's name?
Oh God, I don't remember his name. It was such a blur, but he was a white, like grayish kind of horse with black hair. He had like dark brown eyes ish, and he was following me a lot
Aw.
because after we had shot that scene, we took a break and the cameras were gonna move around and like do something else, and I just decided to hang out with the horse because there was another scene I had with him. But I was just walking him, so I just hung out with him during like the 20 minutes, and he was like, "We're best friends," and he was in that God, what's it called? There's like a big circular fence.
He was in a round pen.
Yeah, he was in a round pen where they held some of him, and I just hopped over the other side, and I was just like hanging out with him, and I would walk away from him, and he would follow me, and I was like, "We're buddies, yay!" We're friends. And I would like turn around, I'd pet his face, and I would just look at him. And
Did you know you did natural horsemanship without even knowing you
Really?
were doing natural horsemanship?
I just wanted to be his friend.
Exactly. You spoke horse.
I did? That's
Yeah.
crazy. I had no idea.
When you walk away and they follow you, you're speaking herd leader.
Really?
Yep.
I was just I was going with like, okay, because I was kind of treating him like a dog a little bit.
It's kind of like that,
Yeah.
but less like with horses, you can't be like up. With dogs, you have to be the alpha leader.
Yeah, you have to be the alpha with dogs.
With horses, you have to ignore and lead.
Mm-hmm. Because I didn't give off alpha energy because this horse is like 3 times my size.
Yeah.
You know, they're big. They can fuck you up if they so choose.
Legit.
You know, like they can legit fuck you up. And I'm like, but I know they're gentle, and my mother knows a lot about horses. So any information that I may have absorbed from my mom, I was like, okay, you're just a big giant cuddle buddy, and we're gonna be best friends, and we're gonna get along just fine. Is that right? You're not gonna like buck me or anything. I was just really trying to make sure that like I'm not going to fuck up the shoot because I am like putting on this lie that I know what I'm doing, and I'm not.
Did the horse owner person, did they think that you were doing a good job?
Yes, they thought I was doing. They're just like, "Hey, good take." Like, let's do it again. I'm like, "Okay, all right, cool." And as far as I know, like he didn't notice because like my elbows were out, and I was just doing it all fucking wrong. We finished that scene, and my friend who hooked me up with the gig was like, "Oh my god, I had no idea you know how to ride horses." I'm like, "Shh, shut the fuck up."
It's in your blood.
I'm like, "Don't tell anybody."
It's in your genetics.
I suppose.
It's your, what is it? Warrior spirit.
Warrior spirit?
Yeah. It's when you came on a boat and you had horses swimming next to the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to shore, you got on the horse, and you went, yeah.
I guess it was instinctual, yeah.
Yeah.
Because my mom was like, because I said earlier, because my mom told me when I was a little kid, she's like, you're just really good with animals. Like, they don't, you know, cats, I don't know. Cats are hit and miss. Cats can be dodgy.
Cats have their own agenda.
Yeah, they have their own thing.
They'll let you know.
Yeah.
They'll decide.
Mm-hmm. It took my cousin's cat like months to get used to me. Because this cat hates men. Hates men. I don't know if it's the octave in like a man's voice that's just deeper, but the cat, like, it hates her husband too because he's got like this bellowing. Cat's like scared of him.
No, little kitty.
Yeah, it took some time, but like, get your belly rubs.
But you have kittens outside.
Those are strays, man. I just like.
They're hungry though.
Yeah, but I want to, but I can't, and I've been advised not to because the guy that lives across from me had a bull out all the time, and then there was like a note on his door, and it said like, don't feed the stray cats, basically, because then that makes more of them show up, and then it causes a problem. But they also get rats, so are they a problem? I don't know.
I think cats are essential workers.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're essential because they get rid of the fucking infestation of like rats and shit. They're gross, and they like eat grossness. Do you have the pot on? Is the water boiling right now?
No, it's the
Oh, that's the faucet, right?
Yeah,
that was
'cause-
another thing I learned.
yeah, that's a
Let
new.
the faucet drip.
You have to let it drip today because of the ice.
Yeah, I had no idea. Thing is, I lived in New York through a blizzard, and I don't recall ever doing that in New York.
But this is a different kind of ground.
True.
We legit live in an area that, so this is like low ground.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if we're on well water or city water. I actually don't know. I have no idea. But
My guess is it floods out here too.
that happens.
Yeah.
It happens. So I've been told when it's like torrential rain. My first weekend here, it was just like shitstorm. And my cousin was saying, this is a good omen. I'm like, there is thunder and lightning. It's scary. We almost saw a truck fucking get tipped over on the highway.
What?
Yeah. My first weekend here, we were moving my shit. And we were going from
Welcome to
place to place.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, it was like, welcome to Oklahoma. Like, we're on the highway. And this truck was like backing up. And it was like teetering.
No.
And the truck, there was a pickup truck behind that truck that was backing up and going into us. And I'm like, hey, Julie, now would be a good time to go in reverse. And she looks back and she goes, I can't. And I'm like, are we fucked? And then it just stopped. And I'm like, okay, we're not fucked.
Damn.
I had just stopped recording on my camera. I was shooting a little video on my phone. Going like, I'm in Oklahoma, guys, because I just got off the plane. And I was like letting my friends know that like I'm fine. So the first video I show is like, this is not fine. This is not fine at all.
What if there were a giant tornado?
Oh, fuck. Well, if there was, my cousin would call me and she would come pick me up because they have a safe room. There might be one here, but I don't know where that is.
Oh, you hide in the bathroom?
Well, yeah, you recommended the tub, But if it's like a nasty fuck shit like F5,
You'd be
like
fine the way that this is constructed. You'll be fine.
I hope
Because you're
so.
right in the middle, and if the
Yeah.
walls cave in, you'll just be like in the middle of
Yeah.
the
Of a
walls.
little debris teepee.
Even if these fall, you have
Mm-hmm.
things. Unless it's a straight up F55, you
Oh,
might be a little
man.
fucked.
If I had time, I think I would close this boy up and I would try to rustle it in my suitcase and take the suitcase with me to the tub and maybe some clothes, the clothes on my back,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's it. Because if I don't have this or the ability to do stand-up comedy, there is no reason to live. There's legit no reason to live. And during that quarantine, I couldn't do those things. And I was like, why am I paying so much money to do nothing?
All I can see
You know?
is you sitting in a tub holding your computer, being like, this is fuck shit life.
Uh-huh.
This is fuck shit life.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Jaking Off Show from the tub. There's a tornado going on right now. This might be the shortest podcast ever. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay, thanks. Bye.
If it's any consolation, I don't think Oklahoma City has gotten an F5 in like,
Not since 1999.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a while.
it's been a good while.
But around Oklahoma City, there have been straight ups.
Well, that's why they build the way they do. There's like constant construction, and there's a whole lot of nothing in between, like small towns and stuff. So the tornadoes that rip through can hopefully happen between cities and between towns.
Between the towns.
Yeah, because
They can do their thing.
I drove from here to Stillwater, and which is like a little small town up there, and I was like, wow, there's a whole lot of fucking nothing.
A lot of nothing.
Yeah, there's a lot of nothing, and there's like the occasional farm and all that. And I'm like, wow, these people live here.
But there's also a lot of lands that are reservation lands out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I was approaching Choctaw territory because the Supreme Court passed not too long ago that like they have the land back, but I think it's like like if you were to steal something, if you were to shoplift in Indian territory, you have to deal with the tribal laws, and they will punish you accordingly. But I'm not sure how that works out. I'm a moron, but I think there's still like federal stuff or whatever because they just passed it. So the tribe might go fucking crazy fascism and go like, scalp the white man for stealing the candy bar.
No.
That'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
I mean, it would be kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that would happen. Cause,
Vengeance.
Because native tribes are pretty freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm. They're
Yeah.
pretty chill. I've been to a powwow once.
I feel really bad because I was driving through New Mexico last week,
Mm-hmm.
and all of the casinos are completely closed.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm thinking about like what the casinos actually mean energetically wise, like,
Mm-hmm.
because it's technically like, this is what you have, these coins, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and the Navajo casino was closed, and then there was another one that was closed.
That's like all of their business. That's the only business that they get is through, that they probably give some of that money to the reservation.
It goes to the reservation.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Navajo was the
Mhm.
one I passed.
My uncle speaks a little bit of Navajo. He was friends with some code talkers in Vietnam. He knows a couple of phrases that meant like go this way, due north or whatever the fuck, because he was shooting people in the South Pacific. He signed up for it. I mean, I don't know why he did, but he did. He's a motherfucker, that guy. I gotta call him. You'd like my uncle. Uncle Dan.
Uncle Dan shot a lot of people in the South Pacific.
Uncle Dan was a door gunner in Vietnam, and he fucking shot some people. But it was to save his buddies. Because it's fucking war, you know.
So he was like a good killer.
I suppose, you know.
Do you think he gets the void thoughts?
Oh, probably, yeah. No, he was a heavy drinker when he was a young man. He for sure like had those thoughts because he has Parkinson's from getting. He got the Agent Orange.
Oh, man.
He got shot down, and he like gets the shakies and stuff.
The Agent Orange from the like actual. Anyway.
The
Yeah.
napalm stuff. He got shot down, so and like he lived, but he gets shot down and he got exposed to like the chemicals on the ground, and that like fucked up his neurological system, and he got Parkinson's. I think he was diagnosed. I think in his 40s. I think because he can't he can't always control his hands, at the so he can't drive anymore. He's like 72 now. He's I don't know. I hope he's got 10 years left on him, because he has a ranch in New Mexico. You probably passed it.
Oh, lots
Yeah.
of love to him.
He lives in a place called Fence Lake, population 15.
I don't know if I passed Fence Lake. I don't even know if it would have a sign.
No, you took Route 66, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you passed Fence Lake is just south of Route 66, about 30 minutes. So like you passed it, but you didn't pass through it. You went through Gallup.
I did.
My cousin lives in Gallup.
Oh,
I have 2
Gallup.
cousins and 2 aunts that live in Gallup, and my grandma is in a nursing home in Gallup.
I love Gallup.
Yeah, Gallup's okay.
I love it. It just reminds me of something. So it's just like when it's the first time I've been back there in like a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a whole long story to Gallup. But I went to Gallup after I went to Tucson, and I met Doug Stanhope the first time
You met Doug Stanhope. Oh my god.
at a show.
You
and
bitch,
it was,
I'm jealous.
No, don't be, because I made such an idiot out of myself.
Aw.
Because I was drunk and I didn't mean to be drunk. I had 1 glass of wine, but I was like, hadn't eaten in a couple of days, and I was really skinny then. And I was like, I met him, and this is what I did when I met him. I was like, Doug Stanhope. And I had a glass of wine in my hand, and I handed him the glass of wine, and I was like, here, take this. Yeah.
You geeked out drunkenly in front of Doug Stanhope.
Yeah.
Isn't that the best time to meet Doug Stanhope? Doesn't that seem like the most appropriate, chaotic time to meet a comic of his stature?
It was embarrassing. I never want. He doesn't remember it.
Well,
but
that's what makes it okay, is that he probably doesn't remember it, and maybe you'd like to forget. But maybe if you see him again, don't bring up that one time, and that might resurface, and he'll go like, "Oh, you're that chick who handed me wine with 2 hands."
He won't remember. It was like 7 years ago. But I went through. I stayed in Gallup. Like after that drive, I stayed in Gallup.
Oh.
And
damn. You should have told me. I would have called up my cousin Erin and be like,
Aw.
"Hey, Erin, I have a friend that I don't want her to spend money on a hotel.
Aw.
Go crash on her." But it's COVID and you're not in the bubble, so I don't know.
Yeah, they were straight up in the bubble in New Mexico.
Yeah, they're very strict over there. Like Gallup had a severe lockdown for a little while. Nobody goes in, nobody goes out for like I think a week. It
Whoa.
was because the infection rate was so high in Gallup, and it's mostly Native American folks, and it was just ugly. Speaking of ugly, I got to wrap this up real quick, and my stomach is gurgling, and it wants to make a dramatic exit.
Okay.
So thank you for your time. Thank you for being on episode 69 of the Jaking Off Show.
Go poop.
Click the links in my description. I have ulcerative colitis. I need to get out of here. Okay, thanks. Bye.